if you were to look at the iPhone coming out, people would not have thought what the implications would be for the attention economy.
An iPod, a phone. Are you getting it?
It's the simple device that's going to determine what our outcomes are.
Now you're running into things with artificial intelligence. It's terrifying for me thinking about children and stuff like that. The bulk majority of interactions on the internet were automated or created by bots. I have over 200 social media accounts that I've been running over the last 2 years that are completely artificial intelligence.
Tell people how to make money off of social media. So I guess the high level, what you do is you say a prayer like St. Augustine, where you're like, God, make me holy, but not yet. And then you got to get data, because you can't make decisions without having information, and you collect the data on yourself. And then you can see what your opportunity costs. What are you giving away to have this, I guess, be put in the subtle sedated state, which you feel comfortable, but then you learn, so you're learning what the costs are. And then you come on this other side and you find out the things that, and you pay more attention to what you're grateful for. And that also probably helps you understand the cost and the value of opportunities that are presented to you and what you're missing out on. Because I saw Alan Dershowitz is a friend of mine, a guy that's been involved in everything, right? And he says, he only says one prayer, and it's in the morning. He wakes up and says, thank you, God, for giving me another day. And when right now, a lot of people have a lot more time than my wonderful 88-year-old friend. And this is a way for you to see what your future is going to look like, or what you're pushing out of the boat. You know, when you live on a boat, you bring something in, something's got to come off. And that's what's happening with our time, because as you said, we don't know what the balance is.
Yeah, I love your analogy of the boat. Actually, I go into detail in the book on. Are you familiar with the Shackleton Expedition?
Wait a minute. I think I read about this. Tell me a little bit more.
Yeah, and endurance. Endurance.
Yeah. So they went down to the South Pole or whatever, or the North Pole.
Antarctica. Yeah. They were trying to do a trans-Antarctic expedition, and it was interesting because Ernest Shackleton, the captain, he was, I believe it was in South America, and he was trying to recruit crew, and he was talking with this guy for about 5 minutes and hired him. And his crew were kind of freaking out about it. And they were like, why would you hire somebody so fast without, knowing all these different things about him? And he was really quick to point out the guy's personality and just his character in and of itself. And I think that as we go throughout life, you kind of need to assess who do you want on your boat, because, also in becoming the person that you would want to be on your boat. That's why I did the gratitude component in my life, because I really want those type of people. But when times are tough and things are dark, that's the difference. That just the little bit of a personality in your life can mean the difference between self-selection or moving forward and enduring, right? And I think trying to find those people in your life that not delusionally optimistic, but those positive people, the people that are grateful for.
Listen, boys and girls, if you hang around 7 millionaires, you'll be the 8th. You hang around 7 felons, you'll be the 8th of those too. So that's why I'm going to be hanging around Richard later.
No, that's exactly it.
My dad used to talk rough, man. My dad was a rough talker, still is, and so if I had a friend he didn't like, he goes, if you play in the pot, you're going to get peed on. And there's a truth to that, right? And so also if you can be around, make your life easier, avoid as many stupid people as possible, okay? Because they complicate things. Sometimes it's not their fault, it's unfortunate, but you don't want in that. But one of the things that I have enjoyed in life the most about working in private equity or the other areas of life that I've worked at is when you're around brilliant people, it's inspiring. It's motivating. And I'm like, and we're like drafting behind Jeff Gordon, and you can get caught up in some of that momentum, and some of that inertia is transferable. And people that are going places can transfer enthusiasm in a way that you could never imagine. And so I tell you, man, just that friend selection is the best. And you kind of got to have like a mix. You got to have that comic relief guy, you got to have Donkey from Shrek in there, but you also got to have some leaders. And that's going to be really important for people as they develop family. And you got to have other dads and other people that are helping you lead. And this area, man, that you're talking about really is the crucifix, the balance point in what's happening in our society. Who our family, who is the family that I'm raising going to become? That we're going to have to interface and wrestle with this problem, right? This is it. This is like, back in the 60s, you were worrying if your kid was going to be singing Kumbaya and smoking a joint, right? Now, it's the simple device that's going to determine what our outcomes are. And so have you seen any data that are projecting from what mental health is going to look like, what socioeconomic impact these devices are having on the consumers?
To be fair, I think that it's such a broad problem that there's so much at stake financially for make no mistake about it. The number one and number two search engine is YouTube and Google, both owned by Alphabet. You can pretty much consider antitrust not to be non-existent at this point, especially the way that the social media platforms are growing and the tech companies in a lot of ways. So for there to be any smoke and gun here, as far as data is concerned, it's just not going to happen. I don't think. I think people are going to have
personal journey.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And it's unfortunate because the problem is so big, and the second order consequences are, if you were to look at the iPhone coming out, people would not have thought what the implications would be for the attention economy 15. You can't even really see that. So when it comes to children and everything else, for me, that's terrifying. And thinking that, like you say, you could be, at least having a conversation with your friends, your children's friends' parents, and kind of litmus testing. But the internet in itself, now you're running into things with artificial intelligence, and we could probably go down this rabbit hole for days. But dead internet theory and how the bulk majority of interactions on the internet were automated or created by bots after 2016, and whether or not that's true, you would. I have over 200 social media accounts that I've been running over the last 2 years that are completely artificial intelligence, images, text, all of that, and they're managed by one person. They're different ethnicities, different sexes, different types of content and everything. It's just for me to have this kind of testing ground to see how the different platforms are responding to artificial intelligence and how they're impacting the various different weights of the algorithms for search and related and stuff like that. So it's terrifying for me, thinking about children and stuff like that. It's it's really hard. I think that the best thing that you can do, like you say, is being present and trying to establish some type of moral compass in a way in a family unit that knowing that they can lean on is probably one of the only things that you can control moving forward in the future.
Yeah, be patient with your kids, man. You got to be patient with them. The Chinese say if you wait by the river long enough, your enemy will float by, and there's some truth to that. I want to shift gears.
That's a banger.
Oh yeah, thanks. I want to shift gears. So tell people how to make money off of social media. Like, what do you got to do if you're not just a guy that's trying to create content? If you're a guy that wants to utilize it to expand your business, or you're a guy that wants to utilize it to build your network, but content creation can help do those things, right? So for the person that doesn't want to be like hitting ping pong balls across this pool and things like that, where is it? How do you position yourself, and how do you make money with social media? Tell us non-tech savvy cavemen out here.
Well, that's relatively easy. As much as I hate to oversimplify it, because for me the hard part is the complexity in a personal brand. But if you know the work that a lot of these executives don't want to do, I always ask the same question. It's like, what are the goalposts here? What game are we playing? And what does success criteria look like for you? Because for me, reverse engineering is really easy compared to just trying to figure out a game, and you're just going out on a field playing, not knowing what the game is, right? So what is that for you? Is it, I don't know, leads for your business? Is it sales? Is it okay, well, consistency in your value proposition is generally been extremely rewarded on social platforms. So as an example, I don't know, firearms is probably a bad one, but maybe you're into fishing, right? Fishing's a great example. So if you're posting photos, if it's a personal brand, you and a fishing rod, all these different locations, if you're consistent with that, and this is like an Instagram example, typically you'll be able to find those communities. You'll go out, you'll engage with them, like Fly Fishing Nation. You'll be in their comments, and then they respond to you. Then the algorithmic weight towards recommending your content will go up. We are seeing a shift again, where subscribers and followers have been relatively irrelevant for the better part of 10 years. They do work to a degree, but it's more of a scaled test. So another tangent here. If you have 1 million subscribers, typically what they'll do is they'll serve it out to like, say, 5,000 subscribers. And depending on the click-through rate and the retention, watch time on video, then they'll serve it out to more, and they'll start scaling it up. And the problem with a lot of bigger creators, if they don't have consistency in content, what happens is, like somebody like me who doesn't want to be known as just the gun guy or just the marketing guy or just this guy or the book guy or whatever, if I have variability in those value propositions, what happens is the audience that I have brought in, or the customer base that I brought in, will see this next thing, and the click-through rate will go lower. And that'll be a signal to that search and related algorithmic weight, and it won't serve it up as much. So being consistent with that branding, but there is a wild card here. Your TikToks are very, very much interest-based, where it's like, just throw everything out there, and it's interest-based algorithmic preference will find the audiences and will serve it up to them. So there's a number of ways to skin the cat. It really depends on, first you have to define what the goalposts are in the game that you're playing, and then it's relatively simple to work back from there. But I know you don't know how many boardrooms that I've been into, and I asked them, what does success look like for you? They can't tell you. Like, I mean, you would think an easy one would be revenue or an arbitrary number of subscribers or whatever, but they couldn't even tell you that. Like the marketing team, what is it? Is it a specific return on ad spend? Like what are your, like, we need to know. And this is kind of where I go back to incentives are everything. Munger has the one of the best quotes out there, which leads chapter 1 in the book, is show me the incentive and I'll show you the outcome, right? If you don't have clear like goalposts for people, then they're just gonna go punch a clock, right? But if you can establish the incentive mechanism to do that, you need to know what success criteria looks like. Otherwise, you run the risk of like completely screwing the pooch there. Like you could give out too much, commission, or too much of this or too much of that. So it really depends on the platform. I know that it's a very unfulfilling answer, probably, but considering you probably have a very broad demographic in what it is that they're looking to do, I would say one of the worst things that you could do is probably play every single platform the same, because every single platform does have, again, there's so much nomenclature that gets thrown around, and people love their buzzwords. They'll say algorithm, they'll say AI. There's an AI in my dog's, caller, there's an AI in my dishwashing machine. No, there's not. There's machine learning that, like, it's getting fuzzy in how people are interchangeably using terms and stuff like that. So I would say algorithmic weight on every single platform varies depending on the thing that they care about the most. And it could be a different feature like Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, which it does seem to be short form content does get a little bit of preferential treatment right now. But you have to look at the platforms and build specifically for that platform, because if you just try to repurpose content across all of them, it's not going to work. And I think too many times people will do that with their content. The video specifically, they'll try to crop in and it just doesn't fit aesthetically right for each platform. And then, again, you have to really know the audience that you're talking to and drive home that value proposition, because I think specifically around things like AI summaries, now that is like an actual, component that is promising, like AI summaries and being able to, parse a lot of the noise out there and find some type of signal for people who are gaming the system. Because I think a lot of people just want value. Whatever that value is, they're tired. People are exhausted of being manipulated.
I spoke to you on the phone a couple times, and I think, you have your outward facing image that people see on your videos. But when I talk to you, you come across as like a very wise sage. And I thought, when I'm not on the internet much, and I thought I was talking to a dude that was much older than you, man. And so you have a lot of years in that, behind that old soul. And when I think people read your book, they're gonna get this feeling that they have a friend, that they have a bigger brother that's kind of helping them through things. And I encourage them to read the book. It's very interesting. Where can they find it? Hey, this guy's smart. You got to listen to this guy. Like, he probably knows what the square root of pi is and shit.
Yeah, you can go to warriorsgarden.com. You can find me on social media platforms. I'll put the links to all different things, projects that I'm working on, and usually in those bios and stuff. So,
and this, hey guys, this isn't a lucrative motive. This guy doesn't need your damn money. Okay, what he's really doing this. I think he wants to make an impact, and I think that happens at the personal level, and we all do have to take some accountability with what we're doing with all this jerk off time and with all this just this mental sedated state that our society lives in the car, at home, when we're next to our girlfriend. You got some beautiful lady next to you, and you're over there, watching some dude jump off a cliff, and that's what's happening to our society. We're missing the forest for the digital trees, man. And I really respect the work you're doing. You are a cool cat, man, cooler than the polar bear's toenails. So please find Richard Ryan. Enjoy his content. He's got lots of great content. And also, check this book out. Do your family a favor.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, Brady. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks, brother. Hasta la vista, comrade. Take care.